What do I value in a build on NBA 2K26? Here's what I value in a build. Here's what all my builds are going to have. They're going to have good dunk. They're going to be able to meter dunk very effectively. Got to have solid steel to get lanes like that one. And last but not least, got to be able to fade from anywhere. And that's exactly what this burly big can do. Almost every single build I make is just going to be good at everything. I love builds that are versatile as hell. I don't like having a build that just cannot do a certain thing on the game. I like to be able to shoot well. If I'm a big, obviously I want to be able to rebound well, shoot confidently, catch lobs. I love having high dunk on my bigs. Almost every single big I make is going to have at least 87 dunk, 4 contacts. And like I just said, I need to be able to confidently pull from 3 no matter what. Snag down that rebound right there. Got my boy Cruz with me, and you know guards love having brick wall with their centers. This build gets good brick wall into the putback dunks. I love being able to dunk crazy and be a dunk threat. I just make sure all my builds are like threats to the other team in all types of different ways right there. Just throw a lob to Cruz, center, full court pressing. Give me that shit. What do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to go backwards fade that hoe into the green beam with rhythm. And I cannot stress enough just having enough dunk on any build to catch lobs, because lobs are the best pass to make in the game. A little slip pop right there. But lobs are just so good, and dunking the ball this year is just so good, because as you see right there, every time you dunk the ball, you get two-way on the other end. So every single dunk you do, you got two-way on the other end, and if it's a lob, your point guard also gets two-way for the next play. Another interception into the midi. Hold up, time out. Get that shit out of here, bro. This build's got crazy block too. Hold up. Big board right there, into the dot. He doesn't shoot it, into the second dot. Cruz don't miss, except when he shoots it from half court. Then he might miss, and I'm coming in, bang! Huge putback dunk right there. Another lob coming up. Infinite two-way on this build with the amount of dunks you get. And don't tell me you can't dribble on this, but look at that. Not the best ball handle, I'll admit it, but I'm getting buckets. I mean, what can you say? Cruz gets a nice steal right there. Almost had a 3. I think he just tried to rhythm. It didn't go, but I'm on the back door. What do you think's going to happen? Another 360 lob right there. And this build gets in the air so high. Huge rebound right there. 96-0 board. You're getting all the boards. Another board right there. Get that weak shit out of here, man. And to finish these clips off, a little behind the back putback dunk. Party was going crazy after that one, but I'm not going to waste any more time. You see what this build can do. Just don't forget to drop a like if you enjoyed. Drop me a sub if you want to see more of my content. And turn post notifications on if you want to get notified every time I post a video. Let's get into the build. Alright, like always, I like showing the builds in the actual attributes menu after I've made them. I don't like showing builds in builders because you don't get to see the cap breakers. You don't get to see what the build actually looks like. And in my head, like the build in the builder is literally like halfway there. Like that is half of the build. Cap breakers are the second half, and what you're going to +1 and +2. Let's get into the attributes though. 85 driving dunk base in the builder, which is going to eventually go to an 89, which is contact dunks off 1 and off 2. 45 standing dunk, that's what I go on basically every single build besides an actual true big, like a 5s big. 45 standing dunk I go on almost all my builds. I do not value standing dunk that high at all, but 45 is what I go on most of my builds just because that gets you both of the base standing dunk packages. And I meter dunk basically everything, and standing dunk meters never activate. Like you have to be like standing still for 3 seconds for standing dunk to ever affect what your meter looks like. So that is like my least valuable attribute probably in the game, right up there with like post control. Now onto the shooting. 91 mid-range, which base in the builder is 89, which you're going to cap break to 91. That gets you set shot on gold and shifty on gold, and that is a really good threshold to hit on all of your builds, just because having both of those badges on gold gets you the potential to have both of those badges on Hall of Fame if you choose to +2 them in your +1s and +2s. Just because Shifty is a tier 2 badge on any build. I believe that's 6'8 or taller, so you can +2 both of the shooting badges and you can be shooting lights out. I'm not sure how valuable it is to +2 Shifty on a big build, because you're gonna, for the most part, be playing with the guard with like really good shooting, and he's gonna be the one you want fading, and you're gonna be the one crashing for boards. But I highly recommend +2ing set shot to legend. I do that on literally every build. There isn't a build that I don't +2 set shot, just because I like shooting really good, and I do shoot really good, and I think I shoot pretty well because I take advantage of every like thing in the game that helps you shoot better. 84 3-pointer, that just gets you 83 is the threshold to hit for bronze limitless, and then I just had some extra attributes, so I threw it on 3-pointer to get to 84. 71 pass hack, that is a threshold I go on a lot of my builds. 71 is just get you versatile visionary. You can throw lobs without like thinking it's going to go out of bounds all the time. It's just a really good number to hit with pass hack if you're not going super high. Obviously this is a park big, so pass hack isn't as important. If you were planning to bring this build into the rec or whatever, I wouldn't, but that is not a very good pass act for a rec or fives big, but in park it is more than valid. Onto the defense, which is probably the most important part of this build. You're 6'9", so you're obviously going to be a pretty competent defender, and you have to be a versatile defender as the big man in park this year, just because you have to be able to switch on screens. Like, playing sides and hedge on screens is just not good at all this year. You have to be able to defend a point guard this year and a big, obviously, because you're switching, and preferably whoever's playing like sides with you needs to be able to defend both a big and a guard. So this is a switchable build. Most of my builds are switchable. You get 82 perimeter, that's just silver challenger, the basic stuff. It's enough where you do not have to be scared to guard the point guard. Obviously it isn't a pure lockdown clamping up everybody, but you just want enough attributes and enough defense to not be scared to switch every time, and like freely switch when you need to. You can't like be hesitant to switch every time and be hesitant to be put on the island with the guard, because what 99% of guards do this year is just try to get switched onto the big and then cook his ass for 21 points. And no lock, like sitting there watching their center get cooked for every single point in the game. So having defense on your bigs is super valuable this year. 73 steal, that's just enough for silver interceptor. Obviously glove is the most unimportant badge in the game, but silver interceptor is really good. I didn't want to go 60 just because I like playing the lanes. I play out of body a lot of times. Couldn't obviously get to 85, so the next best was 73, which is what this build gets. 84 block, I go that on a lot of my builds too. I love having high block. Obviously it's not the 90s because this build just gets everything, so like you have to give somewhere, but 84 is still a lot better than most park bigs get. A lot of people are going 74, but I value block a lot just because it's obviously 2 block shots, dunks, layups, whatever, and then it's also it affects your jump contest. Whatever your block rating is exactly directly correlated to how good of a jump contest you're going to get and how high of a jump you're going to get. That's like 2K tested. Vertical is basically pointless this year, in my opinion. Obviously, a lot of people hate on that, but that's just what I feel like. 82 interior defense, that's just to match the block. Now onto the rebounding here. You just can do everything on this build. This build gets 96 O board. Obviously, that's Hall of Fame rebound chaser, which you can +1 to legend. You get 80 D board on this build, and there's so many center builds I see that are just absolutely trash because they go super high O board and D board, and you just can't do that this year, especially if you're trying to make a build that can do a bunch of stuff. You can't have 2 super high rebounds. You have to live with one of them being a little bit low, but just having 1 super high has always been good for me just to get you whatever badge it is. So this one gets Hall of Fame rebound chaser, so you have an 80 D board, but you're still getting Hall of Fame rebound chaser like animations, you know? Obviously, you're not going to be grabbing D boards as well as you grab O boards, but I do this on all my builds and I hardly notice anything, especially because rebounding this year is really like position based, and if you get that box, you're snagging those boards regardless of what the rating is, as long as it's pretty decent. 78 speed, 71 agility, 83 strength, that's another good threshold to hit, and then a 79 vertical. Now let's get into the badges here. These are the tier 1 badges. Legend box out beast, bronze glove, most important unimportant badge in the game, silver paint patroller, Hall of Fame rebound chaser, which you can +1 to legend if that's how your badge loadout ends up working out. Versatile visionary on bronze, very important threshold to hit. I love just getting that badge. It makes lobs go through all the time. Passes are good. Break starter bronze. Obviously, if this is a 5's big, that wouldn't be too good. But 3's big, that's the standard basically. Gold interceptor, gold pogo stick, legend set shot, silver deadeye, bronze lemmy, silver poster, and silver shifty shooter. Now getting into tier 2s here, we got Hall of Fame aerial wizard. You're catching lobs left and right, super easy to time. Your green window is massive. Dimer on gold, immovable enforcer on silver. You're still playing pretty competent defense as a 6'9" big. Brick wall on Hall of Fame, no float game obviously. Off ball pass gold, pick dodger bronze. That badge basically doesn't matter this year too if you play through my philosophy, which is never fight through a screen ever and switch every single screen. You should never be hitting a screen in the first place. Challenger gold, high flying denier on silver, huge badge right there. I like +1 and +2 in that badge a lot. On ball menace on bronze, post lockdown on silver. And now I'm just going to show you all what I have +1 and +2 on this build. Obviously, like I said, set shot is definitely +2 to legend. I just like being able to shoot, very consistent. I have legend set shot on I think every single build I've ever made. Brick wall also +2 because I like setting good screens for my guards, bro. Guards like good screens. That is a badge you're probably going to want a +2. Onto the +1s, we got interceptor on the right over here and challenger. Just 2 defensive badges. You got to play some defense this year. Defense is like severely lacking this year. You know, you need to +1 some defensive badges. On the left here, we got box out beast, legend, and dimer +1. I like +1 and dimer, just give my teammates a little bit of a boost. And then box out beast, I hate getting thrown out the way. Like when I am in good rebounding position and I just get tossed out the way, That shit makes me so mad because I did everything right and like a big just pushed me out of the way. I don't like that. I like having box out beast as high as possible, so I +1 on this build. Clutch team ones, I got high flying iron on gold and shifty shooter on gold. Obviously those are pretty interchangeable. You can just put whatever you want in there that you feel like you're gonna want. Onto my jumper, I run the exact same jumper on every single build that can get it. So every single build that is 6'5 to 6'9, I run this jumper. It's Scottie Pippen base. Upper release 1 is Ben Shep. Upper release 2, Larry Bird. 80% Ben, 20% Larry Bird. 3/4 release speed, and then the Q I have is right in the middle of push and release. And I do want to clarify, I have been using the same uppers for the past like 4 years. So this is literally what I do every year. I find a good base, like a good statistical base that has been tested by 2K Labs and whatever else is using. I put Ben Shepherd and Larry Bird on that motherfucker, and then I end up shooting crazy. Like it's what I've did every year. It's worked for me so far. With that being said though, that is the build. Let me know what you think of it. I'll see y'all in the next one. It's been Bawny. Peace out.